Welcome to the news desk here at lunchtime on the final day of the World Magic Cup and the final day of our 2015 on the Pro Tour and high-level Magic. It's great to be with you, Rich Hagan, Brian David Marshall, Randy Buehler here. Now, we represent at the desk more than 40, close to 50 men and women all over the world who've been bringing you Magic coverage through 2015. And we got together and we were thinking, what were the great moments of 2015? What were the great cards? Who were the great teams, the great players? And we just asked everyone who had been involved in global event coverage for you over the past 12 months to put their collective brains trust together. And we're going to bring you the answers to our top three categories, if you like, in our coverage awards for 2015. And guys, we're going to start with the team of the year. Now, Randy, I know that you are a big fan of the honorable mention. But here's the thing. It turns out for teams, there weren't a lot of honourable or dishonourable mentions because the top three teams were really pretty clear-cut. Whatever region you came from, whether you mostly covered GPs, whether you were a text writer, a photographer, whether you were exclusively working Pro Tours, or back at the office in Seattle as one of our producers, three teams really stood out this year. So we begin in third place with Channelfireball, the Pantheon. Let's take a look at them. So there you get a look at three of the members, Reed Duke, William Jensen, and Owen Turtenwald.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a great team that's been putting up results for years now. I mean, the Channelfireball Prime, I think maybe if there is an honorable mention, I do think they had a solid year as well. That said, there's maybe a couple other teams that had better seasons.
Yeah, and that's pretty startling, BDM, because that roster is extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I mean, they are the Pantheon, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's Kai and John and Yelger and Gabe Nassif. It is just the best players in the history of the game who get together and prepare to conquer, new Pro Tours and, continue to put up results. We continue to see John, getting his 15th top 8. I mean, just crazy, crazy numbers.
But they were still, quite by a distance, the third best nominated team. So in second place, we have these guys. It's UltraPro.
Right, and you see Patrick Chapin's name twice, by the way, because Patrick Chapin, one of the things UltraPro has really found itself in a position to do is accommodate players who are a little older, kind of have other things going on in their lives where they're not able to maybe go to 2 weeks at Magic Camp.
Oh, yeah. And think back, like 12 months ago, there was, here Bob might be trying to put together an internet-based team, maybe test on Magic Online, not necessarily get together. This team didn't exist last year. Really made its debut at the February Pro Tour. The Modern Pro Tour was the first one they really came out for.
Yeah, one of the sound bites of the year for me was Matt Sperling. In fact, it actually wasn't a sound bite, it was in an article. And Matt Sperling is someone you want to just read his words very carefully, but he made a comment that if you had been in the room for the draft discussions in UltraPro, you would just see that we're basically playing a different game of Magic than almost anyone else in the world, just in terms of the preparation and the delivery of what you're trying to achieve. Because it's not trying to show that you're good at Magic. Everyone in the room knows they're all good at Magic. It's specifically targeting 6 rounds of limited play in one room on one weekend. And that's all they care about, and they've really narrowed that down very well.
But interestingly, also, UltraPro has really extended that team preparation beyond just the Pro Tours.
It's true.
So, Player of the Month, we ran through our highlights of the year, and in the beginning of the year, we had Matt Sperling as Player of the Month. In November, we had Tom Martell as a Player of the Month. Both players have talked about the limited preparation that UltraPro does in advance of limited Grand Prix, which is not something we've seen really take place. It's like, okay, it's the Pro Tour's over, everyone go their own way, get together with your local guys, but UltraPro is maintaining that throughout the year.
Even, Grand Prix Madison, like leading up to Pro Tour Milwaukee, Paul Rietzel had never done a draft of the format. His first Battle for Zendikar draft was round 10 Sunday morning, and he was like, yeah, but I mean, I've been on the team's limited calls. I'll be fine. He top-8'd.
Yeah.
His third draft was the top 8 draft.
But they were the second place team because by a country mile, almost everyone voted at number 1. This team, Team Eureka as they are now, Tomo as they began the year, and this story just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, UltraPro had a great year, I mean, especially for debut. Even forget about the debut part. in terms of the depth of results, but at the end of the day, these guys have the trophies. These guys just have all the titles. The number of major premier events that were claimed by members of Team Eureka is just astonishing.
Yeah, just look at Joel Larson and Martin Dang as Pro Tour winners. Some of the best young players in the game right now.
Sure.
Simon Nielsen, Martin Mueller, two players who just are coming off of strong Pro Tours.
And don't forget
Grand Prix
Magnus
finishes.
Lanto's on there too, who won the Magic Online Championship.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about team captains. Pierre Dajon could be the captain of the World Magic Cup.
True.
We had Fabrizio Anteri was a captain this year. Of course, the Danes got into the top 8. Christian
Joel Larson,
Seibold,
Swedish captain.
Just utterly breathtaking year for comfortably our team of the year, Eureka / Team Tomo. So now we move on to card of the year in 2015. And Randy, I know you'll be pleased, there were indeed some honourable mentions this time around. So here's 3 to conjure with. In sort of descending order of perhaps strength and usability. Let's give you Dragon Lord Ojutai. A lot of people said, just a really, really good, powerful, clean Magic card.
Sure.
Lots of people mentioned Hangabout Walker, which again seems fine. There were some mischievous answers. I think there were often little grins next door to this one. Lantern of Insight. A lot of people had a soft spot for that because that's the kind of, maybe goofy isn't quite the right word, but unusual card that found a home and did great things in a way that the other 2 are quite clearly just straight down the line good cards. But they were not the top 3. Again, the top 3 was really quite straightforward. And it was sort of small, medium, and large. So in 3rd place was small, and that was Monastery Swift Spear.
This card made the top 8 of every Pro Tour, including the Modern Pro Tour. The card was everywhere this year. Just an incredibly powerful Magic card.
And we see it all over the place here in the top 8 of the World Championship, and perhaps even more prevalent in the Swiss and pool play rounds.
Definitely.
So that was 3rd. 2nd, we go up the chain a little bit, although in some ways down as well, because we go to a 0-2 kind of Jace Vryn's Prodigy.
Yeah, I mean, this is, people were talking about the types of decks they were going to build for Team Unified Standard, and people would talk about the Jace deck. What is going to be the Jace deck? Is it going to be Esper Control? Is it going to be Esper Dragons? Is it going to be 4-color Rally? But it was always the Jace deck.
It's a great point. I mean, it's only been around for the back half of the year, but just, it's everywhere. Clearly one of the most powerful cards printed in quite some time.
I kind of had dig through time in this slot, but, I think Jace has supplanted it.
Jace has a lot of awesome things going for it, but it isn't necessarily haymaker magic. It's more, here it is, a little bit of incremental here, I'm going to flip it here, yeah, I'm going to make things a little tougher for you here, I'm going to do this back. It's a subtle, clever, great card. But if you want haymaker, well, number 1, pretty straightforward. It was Siege Rhino, because it turns out that you smash things, and you smash things back, and you gain some life, and you drain some life. And there you see the Rhino. I'm sure you've been on the wrong end of it. I'm sure you've been on the front end of it. And just a tremendous Magic card. That was our card of the year. But let me tell you, moment of the year, well, this is where things went wide, because people had so many things that they wanted to talk about, whether that's Shota Yasuoka playing at lightning speed with his slowest control deck in the world, playing it faster than most of
the
us
Silumgar steals Atarka.
Exactly.
Atarka, new Silumgar. That was
Double Dragon.
That was on my list.
So that was great. We've seen this weekend Mastery of the Unseen do great things. Several people mentioned Ryoichi Tamada in the top 8 of the last Pro Tour against John Finkel, utterly transforming a matchup through the use of one card and just going, how about this then? And people looked at that and just thought that was wonderful. The impossible decision of the year, that was a very clear-cut Pascal Maynard in the top 8 of Grand Prix Las Vegas. Lots of people mentioned that moment.
Sure.
Some people said, wish I'd been in that chair, and other people went, I'm so glad I wasn't. But we do have a top 3, and we're going to show you a little bit of video of these, because these were all just great in their own special way. And Brian David Marshall, you're the Pro Tour historian. I want to start with you. Our 3rd moment of the year was the Hall of Fame awards ceremony.
This was just such a great ceremony, such a great Hall of Fame class, just tons of emotion, tons of well-deserved accolades, and a memory that I think everyone who's there will never forget in terms of Eric Froelich
Yeah, Randy, the fact that it sort of began with this phenomenal speech of dignity and power and poise from Willie Adel, and then got better.
Shota spoke English.
Yeah.
Shota Yasuoka does not speak English.
Too many words in that sentence. He doesn't speak. I mean, he's very reserved and quiet, but he spoke very beautifully, actually.
And he did, and he clearly had put a lot of time into being able to come to that ceremony and to give a Hall of Fame expected
So that was
speech.
Wonderful. And then you had Eric Froelich kind of topping it all off in a way that was simultaneously magic and not.
Yeah, absolutely. It was another just incredibly emotional speech. Magic obviously just a central passion in Eric Froelich's life, and he decided to celebrate that with one of the other passions in his life. He proposed to his girlfriend Athena on stage with his mom there, up on stage with them. Really not a dry eye in the house. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Well, it's fair to say that most of you probably weren't at the Hall of Fame ceremony. It's also fair to say that probably approximately all of you were at our second moment, because our second moment of the year, the runner-up, was Modern Masters Weekend, where whether it was Las Vegas, whether it was Chiba in Japan, whether it was Utrecht in Europe, more than 15,000 of us trekked to play Magic somewhere in the world at the same time, and we could spend half an hour on the moments out of this one weekend. It was just extraordinary.
I forget who's in the boosters.
I think you'll find it's Kenji Samura is in fact in the boosters. He is now off to Sushi Draft, of course. So Modern Masters was our number 2, but a runaway moment, and for a lot of different reasons as well. The moment of the year, we're going to take you back only about 6 weeks or so to Seattle, to PAX, to the World Championship, and we're going to take you to the moment that Seth Manfield, in one of the great dominant performances ever, claimed the title and was in bits afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, just a dominant weekend from Seth Manfield. Just didn't lose, took down Players of the Year, took down everybody who came along the way, and became a world champion. And it was just a really amazing, emotional, dominant performance from a player who really announced himself to the world with authority. There you see him, finally uncoiling.
And I think this moment might have been the moment of the year just for the unbelievable run he had through the Swiss and the way that he dominated that tournament with all the best Magic players around. The 5th game against Owen was one of the most sort of intricate and intense championship games I've ever seen. But for me, the thing that put it over the top was just the raw emotion. Once he was asked, what does this actually mean to you? And you saw him sort of take that half a step back at the award ceremony, and just the tears flowed. And it was awesome. Yeah,
it really was a spectacular moment and a great way to round out our coverage awards. Whatever your favorite cards, your favorite teams, your favorite moment of Magic, maybe your favorite moment of Magic in 2015 came from last Friday Night Magic, because Magic gives us great moments wherever we are at every level. But we thank you for being part of our coverage team over 2015, and we look forward to bringing you more great Magic in 2016. That's our coverage awards for 2015.